Greetings, brothers and sisters. We've been talking about a Black Alliance and building up a Black Alliance, which I think is very important. The power of Black unity is in our alliance. So we can get involved with this mind. We gotta. In so many instances, we gotta court ourselves. So once we properly court ourselves, then we'll be able to get involved with this idea of Black unity and this Black Alliance, because this is something that we're going to need, right? Because we've already come into this new day, right? Time is waited on no man, and we've already come to this new day. We're already in it. Whether you accept it or not, we've embarked upon a totally new time, and we've got to be wise in how we handle this, great power. You and I have to be wise. We have to concentrate with the blessings that God has given us today and make the most. We have to make the most out of the situation and condition that we find ourselves in. We're in a situation that demands liberation. Our condition is another situation. The conditions are ripe for revolution, ripe for revolt. But the performance of that will have to take place on two planes. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. It's been a long day. But so we have to concentrate on bringing into fruition, right? Bringing into fruition or fruition. What we desire to see. We have to make our desires a reality today. Our desires have to become a reality. And the way that our desires can become a reality is that we actualize it. This is one of the things we're talking about with Sister A. Muhammad. Here this sister was, a lot of people didn't know, she's a millionaire. She was a millionaire. Her and her husband have done very well for themselves. And she was focused on creating Black societies. Focused on building Black communities with Black stores, with Black gas station, Black consumer markets, right? That way, if you need insurance, you can go to a Black insurance agent, isn't that right? A Black insurance dealer. You wouldn't have to worry about going to anyone else, but you will go to somebody who looks like you. This is how the white man got his businesses started. That's how he got his businesses started. He started from the ground level. He didn't start from the top level. He started from the ground level. Isn't that right? He started from the ground level. So we have to understand that when you and I start, if we're to have a successful start, our start will have to be from the ground level. And it'd have to be a meager start and a humble start. And once we get into the habit of supporting one another, once we get into the habit of supporting one another's business, then it'll take off. Oh, I've been working today, brothers and sisters. I don't mind yawning in front of you because I've been working and I'm tired, but nonetheless, I continue to push. The only way that you're going to have anything in this world today is that you push. Brothers and sisters, I'm asking that you would buy monthly memberships, right? It could only be $1. It could be $5, right? Doesn't have to be much. Just so that you're contributing to us monthly, so that I can do some other things on the show that I would like to. There's another part of programming for these kinds of shows that I can have. Now, the one thing I want to applaud us on is that we've almost got up to 500 people, and that's a great advantage, great thing to see, because we have numbers that we didn't have to purchase. We didn't have to purchase it, but black people are watching and paying attention to what's going on. Black people know that we're talking about superlatives in our community. We're talking about making some real moves. We're not running around here playing with you. See, we're talking about some real moves. Because if I was playing with you, we couldn't march. And one thing's for sure, we got to march. We have to march. But when we march, we're not just marching physically. We need to be marching economically, marching socially, marching clinically, marching medically to create the organizations that we need in the black community. As you know, in the black community, one of the most important things we need is health care, whether it be behavioral health care, or medical health care, whatever it may be, we need it. Because in the black community, people are losing it, right? Everyone can handle nor understand the pressures that are affecting them in our society. And so in the black community, you can get cut quick. You can get shot quick. So we need brothers and sisters that are familiar with how to treat gunshot wounds, how to treat stab wounds. We need that. And you can do it. It's not hard. You don't have to spend all that time in medical school to learn, right? You don't have to spend all that time in the Bureau of Medicine Surgery to learn, right? You don't have to, because it's very easy to do. All you have to do is watch, right? We have a recording for that, for those that would like to learn how to perform as doulas, or for those that would like to learn how to handle a gunshot wound, how to handle a stab wound. You can learn. You can learn. You're more than able to learn. You just send us your information, and we'll do the Zoom with you where we can help train you toward that. Isn't that right? You can help train you. You'll pay for your material. The book that you'll pay for is $100, but it has a lot of great information in there. And if you follow that and come to class, you'll be able to learn how to do that. You'll be able to learn how to do that. And there are classes on these things. There are classes, okay? So you'll be able to learn that, and you need to learn it. It's time for us to start investing in ourselves, brothers and sisters. We've got to invest in ourselves. Excuse me. Peace, brother. Brother Shabaka. One love, peace, black power, and Pan-Africanism, brother. And we will continue to inform and educate and organize African people. Definitely. Definitely. I'm glad to have you on here, and I'm encouraged to have you here, brother. We're talking about educating our people on moving treating gunshot wounds and treating stab wounds. And the title today for us is being united, right? We have to be united. That's the power of black nationalism, black alliance, the power of black unity. Is that once we're united and each one is teaching one, and we're moving the same way toward every win that come against us, then you know that we're ready. Then you'll know that we're ready. And we have to start now, because here's the thing. They just took out Sister Ava, Dr. Ava Muhammad. They just took her out, brothers and sisters. They took out Dr. Ava Muhammad. There's a reason why. There's a reason why. We talked about it yesterday. I'm not going to bore you with it today, or we talked about it the day before. So I'm not going to bore you with that. But what I will say is the power of black unity and black alliance mean that you are fortified with black people who are looking out for black people. That in itself is a major, major advancement. That alone is a major advancement. Major advancement. So we've got to be wise, brothers and sisters. You know, I say it all the time. We got to be steadfast. We got to be unmovable. And we have to be always abounding in the work that God has set before us. That God has set before us. And our God has allowed us to stand in the liberty that we have been made free. Isn't that right? But we can't just say that, brothers and sisters, and say, well, God freed us, so we're free. We can't just say it. We have to act it out. We have to live that. Isn't that right? We got to live that. We can't talk about mobilizing black towns if we're not moving into those towns. We already got the 4 locations. Now we got Detroit, Michigan. We have people working there that are in areas of their town to keep it black. Get other business out of town. You got a strong black brother named Zeke up there. And it's a wonder to see him move and occupy. They're literally occupying D.C. in the organization that he's in. You got Atlanta. You got an amazing organization there. You have Chicago. And we want to be able to, and Arkansas is moving on the scales. Memphis is getting there now. A lot of places are waking up. The black community is becoming woke. I just read earlier today that Nigeria, because of what she sees the black man in America do with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and E.C. Morris and Marcus Garvey and Charles Mason, all of these were massive leaders who attended one another's conventions, one another's holy days, and the teaching that they've given us. When you see a black Muslim move, that's the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. When you see a Church of God in Christ, somebody there moved, that's the teachings of Bishop Charles E. Mason. If you see Baptists preaching full gospel and moving, black Christian nationalists, that's Dr. E.C. Morris, that's Albert Cleage. When you see them moving to make it what it ought to be, isn't that right? So anytime and any place that you see black brothers and sisters moving and they're talking about security like Garveyites, you know that it's the teaching that came ahead, right? We bear witness that there's only one God, brothers and sisters. That's the truth. And that Muhammad is his messenger, right? He had many messengers, but Muhammad is his messenger too. That's right. So we have to understand that God is moving in so many ways. God is moving, but we've got to move in the power of God. And we can't do that as individuals. Not as individuals, because that's not where we come from. We're people who move as a community. We move through communalism. And through communalism, we can move, we can make things happen together as one people. We can make it happen. All we got to do is start with 2 or 3, right? Isn't that right? The word said, there I am in the midst. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, there I am in the midst. So brothers and sisters, we don't even have an excuse. When Jesus started moving, right? When he started moving, he had 12 disciples. Isn't that right? 12 men turn the world upside down. Isn't that right? 12 men. So brothers and sisters, just imagine what we can do with the technology that we have today and being able to use that technology and speak the word to brothers and sisters. You don't need that many to turn out a good function, or you don't need that many to bring into existence, right, what is necessary. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, we have to have a black community. We can't live with these devils. Didn't you hear what Dr. Ava Muhammad said? She said, I don't want to live beside the white man and he's killing me every day. Put me in my own community. Put me in my own community. Now, I know there's some of you out there saying, well, Minister Farrakhan is hanging around this Catholic priest who's a pedophile. I know. Oh, boy, do I know. But the sister took the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and she's carried them out. So his word won't go out void. Isn't that right? Dr. Khalid Muhammad, didn't he do the same thing? He carried the teachings out. Unfortunately, both of these individuals are no longer with us. And we believe both of them were poisoned. And we know the government did it. It was the government. The government got them out of the way. You'll see the Nation of Islam is making another mainstream move, brothers and sisters. I'm just telling you the truth. Excuse me. I know that some are probably getting upset with me. All I'm telling you to do is read and study for yourself. All you got to do is read and study for yourself and pay attention. That's all you got to do. The minute that you begin to pay attention, then you'll come to the same conclusion that I've come to, and I know you will, that they're trying to wipe out the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad by integrating the Muslim movement, right? But we don't want integration, right? Even Dr. Ava preached against integration. Isn't that right? She preached against integration. She preached against integrating with that devil. She said, separation or die. Isn't that right? Black separation or black death. That's what she said. Right? That's what she said. And so she's teaching and living the knowledge. There are some of those that are saying, Well, Farrakhan chose her to speak. Farrakhan is saying the same thing she says. I said, well, Farrakhan preaches separation, but he practices integration. Because if you pay attention, you got white Mexicans, so-called, I should say so-called. You got so-called white Mexicans coming inside of the Nation of Islam, exercising power over black brothers and sisters. When it plainly says message to the black man. Message to the black man. Isn't that right? That's what it plainly says. So don't get mad at me. I'm just pointing out facts. There are white devils, she-devils, putting on wigs and putting on man tan and fake bake and brown dunk and black dunk and putting it on themselves and coming to see these brothers, right, in the Muslim movement, and they're saying that they're black and painting themselves black. You remember Rachel, don't you, in the NAACP? Come on, brothers and sisters. So when we know that these devils are doing this stuff, we got to put them out. But by that time, the brothers and sisters have produced a seed, right? A hybrid. Isn't that right? And so if you look in the nation, you see a whole lot of hybrids. Look at Wesley. Wesley Muhammad is a hybrid. He's a hybrid. Yeah, he's got a white daddy. He's got a white daddy. And I'm just pointing this out. Why am I pointing it out to you? Because he's saying one thing and doing another. It'd be different if you weren't saying one thing and doing another, right? But if you tell me that this message is for the black man and the black man is oppressed, right? If you tell me that, there's no exceptions. There's no exceptions, right? We can't talk integration. See, Wesley and Nuri, they talk integration. They talk about some of the white people. If you listen to them talk, they were on the Breakfast Club. I was the fly on the wall. You hear me, brothers and sisters? I was a fly on the wall when they was on Breakfast Club. And you listen to them, and they be talking like there's some exceptional white people. Where have you heard that before? Good Jews, bad Jews. Louis Farrakhan. Minister Louis Farrakhan. Good Jews, bad Jews. Good white people, bad white people. People of God, people of Satan. I mean, the white man can't be good. I mean, look at what he's doing to us. There's no exception to the white man. There's no such thing as a good Jew or bad Jew. All the white Jews are bad. Jesus said those that call themselves Jews and are not. He was talking about that white man that was integrating Jerusalem just like they integrated Egypt. Isn't that right? Because integration is the first line article of war with the white man. What does he do? Come down, learn about you, who you are. Right? You feed him, bring him to the table. And he said these people will be easy to conquer. And what does he do? He come on down and conquer you. He start mating with you, sleeping with your women, learning your ways. And the minute he does that, then he start killing you. Lord, forgive me. Then he chop you up. Lord, forgive me for that. And you being God to that devil, you forgive him and he keeps doing the same thing. The only difference is that you don't know that you're God. You don't know that you're the handiwork of God. You don't know that. And I'm here to tell you, you are. If you got a drop of black in you, that white man is against you. Didn't Albert Cleage tell you? He told you that. Master Fard Muhammad, didn't he tell you that? He had a white mother. That didn't stop her from being a devil. Come on, brothers and sisters. And if a man that is has a white mother that would tell me that his mother is a devil, I'll believe him. But he's more qualified to tell me that than anyone else. He's qualified to tell me that. But we could have had freedom yesterday or even this morning if we wasn't sitting around having coffee with this man and twiddling toes, twiddling fingers, skipping through the daisies. Come on, brothers and sisters. We could have been free hours ago if we stopped playing these games. We got to stop playing games. Our lives are on the line. Our children's lives are on the line. They just killed young Donovan Lewis. Police shot him up in the house. They came there to kill him. They came there to kill him. Huh? Talking about he killed the police. How many white people have killed police? How many white people have killed black people that were not police? And these devils take them alive. Why? Why do they take them alive? They take them alive because they're letting you know that in this system of superiority and inferiority, right, in this system, that the white man has made himself God. And it could be the wealthiest white to the lowest, trashiest, stinking, pissy white. And they'll still raise him up over any black millionaire any day, any time. Because if the white man brought you here to be a slave, to be his slave, brother and sister, he didn't bring you here to be equal with him. Don't you know that? That's why it's just hilarious, right? And really not, but it's dark and hilarious when you see them fighting for voting rights. You see them complaining, oh, the white man is doing this, oh, the Republican Party, oh, the Democratic Party. Well, that's just like you telling me that a hungry fox is better than a hungry wolf. Both of them are from the canine family, and both of them will eat you when the opportunity presents itself. And we've got to get wise, brothers and sisters, that there's no snake inside of a snake pit that intentions is not to bite you. We've got to get wise that if you got a rat, right, and there's cheese, the rat is going for the cheese. You have to understand that we are the lucrativity, right? We're lucrative. We're the lucrativity of these white folks. We are the cash crop. The slave is the cash crop. It was the slave that made cotton king. The slave did that. It was black people's labor in the South that made the South what it is. And the man telling you that you don't have the right to vote. Why? Because you were brought here as a slave. And it's so simple. It's so simple. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that all white men are the devil. The white man is the devil, is the devil, is the devil, is the devil. And you have a chance, and I have a chance to get together and pool our resources of everything we've been talking about with black nationalism. And the day has come that Mr. Muhammad was talking about, and I'm glad that it's here. And he saw these things far off. Don't you know that God gave him that vision? And that if God gave him that vision, that it will practice it, that we will bring into life, into fruition, this city that sits on a hill that cannot be hid. Isn't that right? And the light will shine, right? Just like the old folks used to sing, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. All in my home, I'm going to let it shine. Up and down the road, I'm going to let it shine. Jesus gave it to me. I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Isn't that right? So we have the knowledge, we have the light, we have the teachings. We have the teachings, brothers and sisters. We have the good book, right? The KJV and the Quran, right? We have the teachings, and we have the ideas that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad left for us to be able to make it. And all we have to do is get out from among those devils and get to ourselves so we can bring in the hereafter, so we can bring in the great beyond. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? We can bring it in. You worried about when you die. When you're dead, you're done. You're going to be done. When you're dead, you're done. There's nothing else that you can do on this earth. We should be trying to work while we're here. Should be trying to work while we're here. Yeah, I heard about the stories that have never been told about the heavenly gold. But brothers and sisters, I need some gold down here. While I'm here, down here I need some gold. Down here I need that $1 billion, right, to be able to invest inside the black community. While I'm here, I want to be able to do and be instrumental for our people in the black community. And you should want to do the same. You should want to do the same. And I'll tell you why. Because if you get in that mindset, there's nothing that we can't do. If you get in that mindset, there's not one thing that you and I can't do. If we have that mind. Isn't that right? If we have that mindset, there's nothing that we can't do. Let the same mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus. Isn't that right? Isn't that the teaching, brothers and sisters? Of course it is. So we've got to get wise. We got to get steadfast. We got to get unmovable. That's what you and I have to do today. and we got to get involved. We got to get involved, and it doesn't matter the attacks of the white man. Doesn't matter, and how he attack us on his system. You got virtual racism too. Oh yeah, you got virtual racism. You don't believe that? Of course you do. There's virtual racism. Anytime that you say something, you penalize for it, but white people can do stuff and get away with it, that's virtual racism if it's happening on the web. And that happens so often, that's why you have Facebook jail. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? You have Facebook jail. That's why you have YouTube jail. They'll put a strike against you. You talk about something they don't want you to talk about. YouTube will put a strike against you. I don't care what search engine it is. You go to talking too serious about change, then that devil is coming for you hook, line, and sinker. I'm telling you. And you might as well give it up. He's coming for you. So brothers and sisters, we got to be wise. We got to be steadfast. We got to be unmovable. And always abounding in the work of God, right? The work that God has set before us. And God is telling us to separate. God told you not to even deal with them. He told our ancestors, right? Don't deal with them. It's just like the Garden of Eden. Isn't that right? Now you had in the garden, Adam had a wife named Lilith, and he also had another wife named Eve. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know it. This is in the creation story. And it's the truth in the book of Generations. Adam had a wife named Lilith, and he also had a wife named Eve. Now, I want you to also know, brothers and sisters, that when they produced children, you had Cain and you had Abel. So these were two brothers. I'm not certain that they were both, because the white man can rewrite history, but as it relates now, they were both brothers from Eve. But that it does need to be researched. Were they any children from Lilith? If so, who were they and where did they go? Now, brothers and sisters, I want you to understand that Cain is the lineage of Jacob and is the lineage of the white man. That's his lineage and this albinism that had taken over them, right? Then you had Abel, who was black, who had been killed. So the first black man was killed by his lighter brother because the lighter brother envied the color. Isn't that right? And Cain had warring ways. He killed Abel because he had war in his heart and pain in his heart, right? And he didn't want to take responsibility for anything. Okay. And you need to put a marker right there. You need to put a marker right there because this is important, what I'm about to tell you. So you had a progressive and a recessive, right? You had a progressive and a recessive coming out of a civilization, right? That they could no longer function in because they had fallen from observing the rules. And then one had an aggressive obsession for power. That is the white man. When you hear about the people of Cain, it's talking about the white devil. Because from the beginning, he began to murder and bloody people from the very beginning. Right? And then you had one that of knowledge and understanding who had a desire to follow God. I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that. So you have four articles of existence. You have human, you have humankind, you have man, and then you get mankind. Right? From the lineage of Cain came mankind, and from the last article of a tomb, right? The God of creation was Adam, right? Which meant the God-like man, right? Him, the one of the garden, right? The one of the seed of God. And you have to understand that our job was to bring the fallen people back to God. But we began to, so you go down from Adam to Abraham to Moses, that's us. But the people we're going to is a generation that come from Cain. And Cain in his Lord nature as he killed Abel, invested in every area of his Lord nature. Every area of his Lord nature. So I want you to understand, you have to understand in lineage that there's a lot of cross-reference of genetics. So much cross-reference of genetics. But what you need to pay attention to is the habit, right, of the people of Cain, who are called heathens, and the habits of those that had followed Cain, and the knowledge of Cain, the knowledge of damnation. Isn't that right? Because Adam fell, there was the deviation of Cain. Because Eve fell, there was the deviation and uncomfort of Cain. Right? The compromisation, according to the book of Generations, of Lilith, right? Then there was a agnostic sense of right and wrong. So we have to understand that. And this is deep study. I don't want to confuse anyone. But the point that I'm making is this, brothers and sisters, is that we have to study, observe behavior and nonverbal behavior so that we will understand where we are, who we are, how we got here, and how we get out. Now, who are we studying? Are we studying ourselves? Yes. But are we studying those who have oppressed us more so? Of course we are. Of course we are. The white man, as Minister David X told us. Minister David X said this. He said, the white man will never disappoint you. This is in the Muslim temple in Tunica, Mississippi. At that time, 1985, 86, when I was coming in. And Dr. Khalid was visiting because he took me there. And my grandfather accompanied us there. And as other Baptist churches, Church of God in Christ, Pentecostal, you have it. What Garveyites, some Latin Garveyites, all of that. Black nationalists, they all met at the temple or met at each other's church, whether it be Baptist, Methodist, or otherwise. And Minister David X was one of the best teachers that I ever seen in my life. And I imagine everyone says that about their teacher. But what he was teaching was the truth. When he said the white man is the best knower of who he is. And I agree wholeheartedly. Because when he kill you, he's showing you that he's a killer. Isn't that right? If he give you drugs, he's showing you that he's the druggist. Isn't that right? The drug dealer. When he sets your woman out for prostitution, when he rapes your wife, rape your daughter, your son, he's showing you that he has a problem with sex, that he's a lifetime sex offender. Isn't that right? When he's molesting our children and all of that, he's showing you that he's a pedophile. And you must agree that a lot of these actions are the action that they put forth. You see, and when you go to practicing these things, it's an eye view. It's almost like a tunnel view, brothers and sisters. And I wasn't doing the Illuminati now. I wasn't doing no Jay-Z. I was doing a tunnel right here. It was a tunnel view, which means to go down, to study, to dig deep, to understand where these actions come from. Isn't that right? The primus. We have to understand where these actions came from. What is the prime indicator of these actions? When you see a black prostitute, I want you to know that some plantation owners had prostitution on their plantation. Oh, you don't believe that, huh? All you got to do is do research and you'll find out that the brother is not in error. There were plantation owners with prostitution on their plantation. There were plantation owners with pimps on their plantation, gigolos. There were plantation owners who invested in pedophilia, that sold drugs, that planted and harvested marijuana, cocaine, opium, and all of that. All of that. This is nothing new. You don't have the planes to bring drugs here. You don't have the fields to plant drugs and to carry on a drug operation. You didn't create the Drug Enforcement Agency. I said the Drug Enforcement Agency, right? Not the Drug De-Enforcement Agency. But the Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, not DDA, but DEA, you never created that. The white man created it. It's the white man that created it. It's the white man that put it in our community. It's the white man that put the heroin in your urine. It's the white man that put the cocaine in your nose, that put it on your gums. It's the white man that does that. It's the white man that put the whiskey in your head. Those things, all of them have government seals before they even reach the street. Is that right or wrong? And so, brothers and sisters, we've got to be wise. The only salvation for us is to come out from among these devils. We've got to come out. We've got to come out. We've got to come out and build our own communities. And we've got to have some armies to back that up, because you know, as soon as we leave, right, and he see that his goose is cooked and he's not making the money that he wants to make, you know he's going to come for us. And that's why I'm telling you to be ready. If you don't believe that America will drop a megaton bomb on Ohio, or on Tulsa, Oklahoma, or on Atlanta, Georgia, or Washington, D.C., you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You don't know where you are. You know, I heard something so I'm saying it. I didn't say I knew it. I said I heard it. I heard in passing from very powerful men, right? Devils, right? That this thing with the trade tower is just, it's too much to say that the Taliban will come over here. And I just want you to just put it on. This is why you got to examine everything. You got to examine everything. The Taliban will come over here, get a plane, target trade towers. Now, I mean, I want you to think about this. And this is why I tell you that the white man lies so much, until you don't realize how ridiculous his lies sound. You don't have to lie. Tell us the truth. If you did it for insurance and got paid, I understand. You're a devil anyway. I mean, just tell us the truth. But millions of people had to ingest these films and the debris from the trade tower. But let's get back to it. The Taliban, right? Get a plane, hijack the plane, fly the plane into the trade towers. I want you to think about that. Now, of what benefit would the trade towers be to Osama bin Laden? No benefit whatsoever. And that's the fishy part about it. That's why the white people caught on to it right away. They don't believe it. They know themselves better than we do. They know themselves better than we do. But when they flew the planes into the trade tower, right, quote unquote Taliban, there was a Jewish organization that had bought that trade tower right before it was destroyed, from 3-point-something billion. And they made more than that off of it when it was destroyed. Go figure. How convenient. So you got to get wise, brothers and sisters, and know where we are. Where are we? We're in hell. Who's the devil? The white man is. The white man is the devil of this hell that we're in. And it's important that you know that. Because if you don't know it, you're already finished. I just want you to know. I love you so much till I want you to know what's going on. Know what's happening, when it's happening, what time it's happening, what take place, if it's stopped, if it's lagged behind. I want you to know all of it, so you will know what's going on. And once your eyes are open, same way that Elijah opened the eyes of Gehazi, once your eyes are open, then maybe then you can see to fulfill the word of God. Maybe then you can fulfill the promises that God has made to us. God has kept his promise, brothers and sisters. It's you and I that haven't walked into the promise that God gave us. We've not walked into the promise and power of the prophecy of God, which says we should live in houses that we didn't build with our own hands. Right? Why would you say that? Because a slave, right? We are slaves, right, to oppression. That's one of the marks of the Son of Man. Isn't that right? That the weight of the government is upon his shoulders. What does that mean? That without him, nothing could be. But by him, all things are possible. Without the black man who was the slave, the global slave, the white man wouldn't have what he have today. You know that I'm right, brothers and sisters. You already know this. I'm just regurgitating it. But it's because of who we are and whose we are. Because of who we belong to. Isn't that right? That we're able to do many things. We're able to touch the waters and settle the waters on the sea. Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? We're able to turn water into wine. My God. Isn't that right? So we can do these things, brothers and sisters. We can perform miracles upon miracles. Jesus said, if you've done these things, then if I've done these things, ye shall do even greater things because ye are my brothers. Isn't that right? And so the black Jesus is talking to his black brothers and sisters and telling us to keep the faith. Isn't that right? To be strong. Be strong in the Lord and all of his might. Right? Be strong in the Lord and all of his might. So we have to be strong, brothers and sisters. We got to be strong in God. Isn't that right? We got to be strong in God. So brothers and sisters, that's what I wanted to put before you today. And I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, please, those that are out there, please commit yourself. Commit yourself to give us a donation every month. $5, that's all we're asking for. Some can only do $2. That's fine too. But commit yourself to donate to us. Don't forget to buy the books. We have books. We're trying to use the books for sale so that we can get help. And I don't, the time goes when I don't ask. But when we certainly ask, it's because we need. And don't forget, the last week in September, we're doing something in Atlanta, Georgia for Dr. Ava Muhammad. We'll be doing something in Atlanta, Georgia for Dr. Ava Muhammad, and we're trying to get it all together now. If you can sing, if you can rap, if you have poetry, whatever you can do, whatever you can do, whatever you want to do, we want you to come there and do it. We'll have main acts there. We'll have some main acts there, but we're going to have a one period during the week where we'll be letting brothers and sisters come on out and show their gifts. So during the week, that'll be when you can come through and show your stuff, right? And if you got some people that's real good, then we'll be using you on other venues that we're setting up. Isn't that right? And we'll be making sure on those venues that we're setting up, we're trying to organize you as an artist with the other people that are working along with us. Isn't that right? So that you will have those main artists that will help organize you to and be good agents for you so they can help organize you in the area of music, in the area of industry and all of that. So there's a lot of powerful advances that have been made over these past years with artists. And there are many of them that are equipped to guide you and help you toward the road of success. And if you be better paying these people than being ripped off, isn't that right? Than being ripped off by the Sony and all of these other white music plantations. Isn't that right? Music plantation. That's all they are. That'll keep me and you hungry, right? Keep our children hungry and all of that. Because they're constantly attacking us and taxing us. Didn't Michael Jackson tell us that Sonny is nothing but the devil? He would know. He had been with him a long time. So he certainly would know. Then you got Tavis Smiling, who said Michael Jackson died because he was being greedy. Another coon. And I tried to tell y'all about Tavis Smiley. There's people just sold on Tavis Smiley. No, he's not a devil. He's our brother. He's standing up and fighting for us. He's not a devil. But you look now how he talks about Michael Jackson and talks about every other black person that stand up. Who else did he remind you of? What's that guy? What's that agent on Breakfast Club? Well, all of them are agents. All of them on Breakfast Club are agents, but there's one criminal element on Charlemagne. Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne the God. Every time you turn around, this Negro is so happy to be on that show until he will run down every black person he can find. Somebody's done something wrong if the white man says he's done something wrong. And I don't blame him. He's just being true to himself. Well, he is, brothers and sisters. Sometimes the only word that somebody can give you is themselves and being true to themselves, being true to their nature. He was a drug dealer when they found him. And now he's dealing hope, right? Now he's dealing false information. It's still the same thing. Still the same thing. Just the same old song, right? With a different tune. That's all it is. Same old song with a different tune. You'll find with agents that everything they do compliments the white man. That's why I get confused when the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, see, I respect him. I said the most honorable minister, Louis Farrakhan. But I get confused when he says the white man is the devil, yet you're sitting right beside Father Flager, who's a flaming homosexual, who's a flaming pedophile, right? And lifetime sex offender. And this is common knowledge. The Catholic Church, the Archdiocese, put the man out. He adopted 2 black boys who, when they got of age and would have left, these boys end up dead. Brothers and sisters, how ironic. Now, you could probably say one of them would die, right? You could probably say one of them would die, but when you talk about both of them dying, I have a problem with that. I have to question it. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me for questioning it. I have to question it. I have to, right? Anytime you got somebody that's dying around people, and the people they're dying around is always alive, I've got to question that. I've got to question that. I remember I was working with one brother, Phillips 13X. And I was working with brother Philip 13X. And we were doing a campaign. Believe it was in Louisiana. There I got was jumped on by the police. The brothers and sisters was fighting them off. Then they brought in others that had helped them, but we got a lot of them devils that night. We beat the hell out of some devils that night. And I thought I was going to make it to the truck. I didn't make it to my truck that I was driving at that time. And got roughed up pretty bad, brothers and sisters. I mean, I was bleeding. Roughed up pretty bad. The brothers and sisters with me got roughed up, but I got slammed on the pavement several times. But some of them devils' teeth got knocked out and some eyes are busted and all of that. I know. I mean, the fire that they were putting on us wasn't half as good as the fire we was putting on their behind. But anyway, I didn't make it to the truck. And everybody had been arrested on all the scrimmages that we did. Everybody had been arrested. I mean, we were hurt and bust up bad. You go back and see some of the old pictures, you'll see it. I mean, how they beat us so bad till they put holes in our pants, holes in the shirt. They were dragging us on the road like that. Literally mob action. And we hadn't fought the way we did. And the intervening of the people, we probably wouldn't be here today. But don't you know this brother named Philip 13X didn't get one scratch, standing right there in the middle of it. Didn't get one scratch or anything like that. So when we got locked up, right, and had to fight inside of the jail, brothers and sisters that was there know what I'm talking about. Because the devils came in the jail to fight us with ice picks and stuff. I got one plunge in my chest, got an ice pick, plunge in my chest, and got knifed in the side. Got the marks to show it today. This is from White Devils. And you had brother Phillips 13X. Philip 13X. The next time I heard from him, he was in D.C., all the way back in D.C., and nothing at all happened to him. Not one thing. Not one thing. And I believe this was after Ferguson. Yeah, it was. It was after Ferguson. It was after Ferguson. It was after Ferguson. Matter of fact, it was the Alton Sterling. No, it wasn't. Matter of fact, Alton Sterling. Yes, it was. It was before. It was before Ferguson. It was before Ferguson. They had attacked Alton Sterling. At the same time that they killed Alton Sterling, they had killed Philando Castile. So this was some real heavy stuff. Some real heavy stuff. And I'll never forget it of how Philip 13X, didn't nobody bother him. I'm trying to sort of paint a picture of you, a picture too, that when you're standing up, anytime you're standing up and you got people around you that's supposed to be standing to and never get harmed, never get in any danger, you have to check that. You got to check it. I'm just letting you know. Because most of the time, brothers and sisters, they're working right along with the enemy. Right along with the enemy. Now, I find it strange that Dr. Khalid Muhammad and Dr. Ava Muhammad and several others are gone, away from us now, dead. One brother walked away from the post. One brother that was put in operation after Dr. Khalid just walked away from his post after a while. We have to question these things. We have to question these things. Now, Mike Brown happened before Alton Sterling. And Philando Castile, because they were killed literally within 24 hours of one another. I'm making a point here. I'm making a point. Because this is important. While we're doing these scrimmages, there were some people that were literally untouchable. Nothing happened to them. There was plenty that happened to us, but nothing happened to them. You have to always pay close attention. I'm not going to bring those names up right now because that's not, it's not important right now. We've talked about it before. You can, matter of fact, look at the views in the past and find out exactly what happened. But my point is this. Being stabbed with an ice pick and cut with a blade. And other brothers and sisters that were there with us fighting the good fight, had been stabbed and cut, some shot. This is a fact. This is a fact. We were literally fighting for our lives. Now, Mike Brown happened in 2014, and I want you to just go back. Those of us that were fighting there and those of us that were attacked, I want you to go back and just look. There was one nationalist calling people agents. He was never attacked in the midst of these devils, but never attacked. And the people with him were never attacked. As a matter of fact, there were some of them that are in the nationalist movement that are paid to turn against other nationalists. You had black nationalists that were fighting against other black nationalists that were trying to stop the stuff that was going on. And that's how you know an agent, because they're constantly trying to keep order in chaos. When that man is coming on you, or coming against you and putting fire on your behind. And I just want you to know that these were steppers to what we're dealing with in higher levels. Well, that was in a lower level. Black nationalists that are attacked and killed are the ones that are most effective. Well, on the upper level, it's like that too. When you have a black nationalist or a black leader that is successful in expressing and pointing out, can put their finger on the problems in the black community, and the white man sees that this individual can wake up other black people in the community that are suffering these things, then you don't look for those leaders to be around longer. You should always look for them to be under attack. Always look for those kind of leaders to be under attack. And when you have black people attacking black people, especially someone trying to stop someone in the black community from doing justice, love, and mercy, and walking humbly before our God, do you already know, brothers and sisters, that there's an agent in the midst? And there are agents that are hiding among us in plain sight. I want to say this, and it's going to be the last thing I'm saying. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, because if I'm wrong, then show me where I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, But please, you got to show me and be mature about it. Don't come in pissing on yourself. Tell me the truth. Or bring up something plausible, but don't come here telling me you're defending someone. Don't come and tell me that you don't know, or that's his assignment. You don't know what his assignment is. And if he has an assignment, who gave it to him? That's the question I have for you. A tree is known by the fruit that it bears, brothers and sisters. A tree is known by the fruit that it bears. And so when you see that Louis Farrakhan and O'Malley Yeshitela has been around as long as they've been around and have never been under any real threat, what are their similarities? Both of them have devils around them. Omar Yeshitela has devils in his group. Minister Farrakhan has devils in his group. And he's hanging with the devils. You see? You can't talk liberation and act out integration. You can't do it. You just can't do it. So those of us, we have a right to ask questions. You be crazy to just kill us because we ask some questions. I'm saying that because there have been Muslims that threaten me. They have no idea. They have no idea. Good luck with it. Good luck with it. I love you. You're my brothers. And my desire is that you live a long life and that your eyes will become open. That's my desire. And that the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad would be prime to your understanding, brothers and sisters. That Muhammad's teachings would be prime. Muhammad doesn't teach Dianetics. Muhammad doesn't teach that. Muhammad is not letting white people inside of the nation. Muhammad is not allowing his son to marry white people and still keep at peace with it. He's not allowing that. He's not allowing that. So I'm just pointing out the facts. The Muslims marrying white women, producing hybrids. These hybrids coming in, taking over. Wesley is just one of them. There are many others. There are many others. So, brothers and sisters, don't be blind. Don't be blind. The Nation of Islam under Minister Farrakhan is going through another mainstream move. And they've been doing it for some time. All you got to do is pay attention. What did he do? He announced it in 1985, 1986, that someday white Muslims will be able to come in the Nation of Islam. This is not Elijah's teaching. This is Farrakhan's teaching. That teaching doesn't belong to Elijah. That's Farrakhan's teaching. He's doing it. Is Dianetic a book from Elijah? It's not a book from Elijah. It's a book from a white devil named L. Ron Hubbard. I'm just trying to get you to open your eyes. That's all. And every those say you're against Farrakhan. Stop talking against Farrakhan. I'm not against Farrakhan. I'm against lies. I'm against half-truths. I'm not against Farrakhan. I love Farrakhan. I just want him to stop telling lies. I just want him to stop telling half-truths. That's all. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to say it, brothers and sisters. I'm not afraid to say it. And I want to be at peace with my brothers and my sisters. We should be threatening one another. We should be threatening one another. That's why I'm careful about anything that I say. Because brothers and sisters, you can believe it. If I say it, I'm going to carry it out. So that's not something that we should say against our brothers and sisters. We should be putting our energies toward that white devil. We should be planning to take him out rather than take one another out. But see, fear will have us to turn on one another while that white devil is standing right in our midst. We're gutting and shooting and cutting one another when we should be gutting, shooting, and cutting the devil in our midst that's killing us every day of our life, every minute, every week of our existence, every hour, every second, every minute of our day. So you already know where our attention should be. Brothers and sisters, let us put our attention toward freedom, black nationalism. Let us put our attention toward unity. Put our differences aside and come together and build the great city that can't be hid, that sit up on a hill. Isn't that right? The light be shining in that house so that everybody's able to see that light. And that's what God wants from me, and that's what God wants from you. Brothers and sisters, I want to thank you for the time that you shared with me here. And I hope that I've said something to help you. I certainly hope that I've said something to keep us united and make us build the great city and the great beyond. So that I'll see you there. Isn't that right? The Lord said every day will be howdy. There'll be no more goodbye. because we will know each other. Isn't that right? And God will be our God. Isn't that right? And we shall be his people. And the only thing we have to do is get the white man out of here and raise generations in the admonition of God. Isn't that right? And the more that we are fruitful and multiply, and the more that we teach, each one of us is teaching one of us, and the more that we are changing this miserable society and the philosophy of it into a philosophy of love, a philosophy of God, a philosophy of respect, then we'll be all right. But we won't get through it without the war. We have to have a war with that white man. He's dying leaps and bounds because God handiwork is taking care of it. But I want you to understand that we are also God's handiwork. You and I, brothers and sisters. I want to thank you. If I didn't say it in the beginning, I want to say it now. Peace be unto you, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. That means in Arabic tongue, peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum.
Just don't let the spin get you down. Things are